Dissociative identity disorder was formerly called multiple personality disorder. It often goes unnoticed among the general population. Those who suffer from this disorder lead a terrifying and disturbed life. Dissociative Identity Disorder Awareness Day, which is observed each year in the month of March, aims to spread awareness of this disorder's existence and create understanding and compassion towards the people who are going through it. At MediCircle, we're conducting an exclusive series on the occasion of DID so that the people are able to understand what the disorder is directly from the experts. Hi, this is Sana Khan, and today in this initiative, we're going to speak to Devanshi Sharma. Devanshi is a clinical psychologist at Moms Believe in Gurgaon. She has 10 years of academic experience and 5+ years of professional experience in the field of clinical psychology and elite branches. She holds multiple licensing in the field of an international level. Hello, Devanshi. Welcome to MediCircle. How are you?
I'm good, Sana. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
It is our pleasure. Okay, Devanshi, what must a person do to heal himself from this dissociative identity disorder?
Yeah, so, before we talk about a little about the healing process, I would like to first emphasize on how and why it begins and, what are the prime factors that, people should actually take care of.
Right.
So see, as you've already mentioned that it was called multiple personality disorder earlier, and this is a very very famous and a very commonly shown disorder in a lot of movies and web series,
right,
things around us, because it fascinates a lot of people.
right.
But the psychology behind it is that a lot of people, whether it is through genetic mode or whether it is through any other sources. So the prime problem behind this particular disorder is that sometimes people are not able to cope up to the stressful situations that they are undergoing. Sometimes they do not have the correct means to cope up with them. Sometimes they don't have family members around them. They don't have people around them to support them. So and people who do not develop any particular coping mechanisms to deal with the stress, or they've never been taught. So this works as a defense mechanism in the body of an individual. It is a psychological defense mechanism which takes shape of different personalities or maybe different personas in a person, and that ultimately leads to maybe making of different personas in a particular person. So just an example, for example, I am a very submissive kind of girl, for example, and I have not been told how to express my feelings. I've always been suppressed by people. I've been told I need to keep quiet, I cannot talk about my worries, I cannot cry, and things like that. So if I've been told things like that since the beginning, I may not have a very straightforward vent out to express my worries, to express my fear. And then I feel that what do I do about it? So suddenly, slowly, I start building aggressive traits or the aggressive sort of personality personas in me. And suddenly I kind of switch to that aggressive side of mine, and I suddenly come up and as a different person, and people tend to perceive me as a different person altogether. And that is when I feel that, okay, when I'm behaving aggressively, when I'm being assertive, people are scared of me, people are more accepting, people tend to listen to me, right? So these kind of things can lead me to develop personality disorder, or can lead, or at least make a path towards building of this particular disorder. And when it goes untreated, a lot of people in India, especially because mental health awareness, as you all know, is not at its peak at all, so a lot of people misunderstandingly think that maybe she's undergoing an issue, or maybe उसमें कोई पागलपन हो गया है, कोई भूत घुस गया है, and things like that.
Very true.
So that's why it's the most misunderstood psychological disorder.
Devanshi, are there any specific behaviors that we should try to inculcate in our children's personalities to prevent occurrence of DID?
Yes, absolutely. That's a very valid question. So, the occurrence of DID starts with a lot of children in the childhood itself.
Okay.
And I'm not saying every child would go through it, but then there are majority of children. See, we all have our, me time, even in our childhood, wherein we fantasize things, we play with toys, we pretend, we have a pretend play sort of a thing
Pretend
also
play,
in the
yes,
childhood. So when that pretend play starts becoming extremely personalized in the child. So for example, if I relate to a particular action hero, or maybe some aggressive characters that are shown around me, and I'm like extremely I relate to all of those, and I start enacting like all of those at a very great extent. So a little bit of enactment, little bit of play therapy and all of that is okay, like pretend play, that is fine. But when it starts reaching a limit wherein I'm always using those traits, or I'm always utilizing that particular personality, those personality traits of other people to defend myself. So that is when the parents should be aware that this is the time when I need to speak to my child. See, you have to anyway upbring your child as a friend. Modern parenting is all about making your children as your friends, because now that so much awareness is there, so much of digitalization of information is there, it's not at all like the traditional times. So
right.
as soon as the parents start realizing that the child is not able to maybe went out properly, or the child is showing some odd behaviors in terms of extreme aggression, and then being on a calm side, and then like something unusual in their behavior, when it becomes very evident, that is when the parents need to that's like a red flag, and they need to start talking to the child.
Okay.
Sometimes the child may not be very verbal, like we are adults, we can verbalize our needs and wants, but
True, true.
a lot of children will not be verbal. So what parents can do is they can do pretend play with them, they can do role plays with them, they can try and understand what is ongoing in their mind, and maybe
Right.
that's the time when the child will be able to tell you that, okay mom, okay dad, I relate more to this character. Then you can ask, showing the character, that okay, why do you relate so much to this character, what are the
Mhm.
characteristics, why do you think, what is it that is missing in you, and
Right,
what is it
right.
that is not, that makes you relate to this character. So then the
Mhm.
child will tell you, because she's strong, or because he's strong, I am not strong, I'm not able to verbalize my
Right,
problems, she
right.
or she is able to control people. So that way you'll get a lot of pattern and themes, that where your child's thought process is going, and how
Mhm.
you need to tackle it, and put it in the correct direction. Also uneducated illiteracy, I would say, I wouldn't say uneducated, but a lot of population which is below the poverty line, and also below certain literate level. It has been seen that DID and dissociative disorder in general is very prevalent in them, again because of lack of knowledge, and lack of like they were not, probably they are not able to catch the signs. Some of them just think it's something that has entered their body, and it's like an
Right, right.
some sort of totka, or something like
Mhm.
that. So this is specifically for those parents, specifically for those people who do not have its understanding. Please, when your child is showing any kind of unusual behaviors, when you feel they are kind of moving from one state of their mood to the other, please do not ignore it. And if it is not in your control, then try to bring them to a professional so that they can be helped.
Right. Okay, Devanshi, can a person suffering from disorder harm another person?
So
As this is what we see in the movies and web series, this is what is shown. So this needs to
this
be
is
really
usually shown because it adds thrill, to the
right,
to
right,
the
correct,
audience.
correct.
Yeah. So, well, it is unlikely that somebody suffering from this disorder would harm somebody else,
Mhm.
or they would even harm themselves, because they're
Okay.
very well aware of their body movement. So I have seen a lot of clients with dissociative disorders, and the only the thin line, the distinction between whether it is psychosis or schizophrenia or whether it is, dissociative disorder. So they were very careful with their movement. So even if they're
Right.
moving, even if they're rolling on the floor, you can make out that they would roll in such a way that they would not harm themselves. So they may threaten to harm somebody, they may threaten, but it is unlikely that they would do something like that unless and until there is a component of psychotic illness behind the whole scene, which is usually a separate diagnosis. And if at all, if it is there, then that treatment needs to differ. Another important thing is what happens in dissociative identity disorder is that if you carry on, suppose if your child or if your anybody around you is going through that particular phase, and you kind of carry on giving them a lot of attention, so what happens is ultimately the child or that person was craving for attention, and every time they are behaving or enacting in that particular way, their needs are fulfilled. So you have to let your child know, you have to let your friends, your family, let them know that, we are there with you to give you all the attention that you need. You do not have to dissociate into another person or another thing to get what you need. If you have any concerns, any worries, you don't want to share with us, we can take you to a professional. So this is something, this reassurance in itself lets the person feel secure, and then probably they would not, fall into this kind of a phase again and again. And also you might have noticed it's mostly females which is shown in the movies, but to be honest, it is true in reality also. Why? Because females have to undergo a lot of changes biologically, then societally they have so many things. You can't do this, there's so many do's and don'ts which are actually laid upon women, and that's why even in my own practice,
Behavior that the women
definitely
as a
suppressive
personality are
behavior.
suppressed. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, that's the main, that's a very good point, because suppression has primarily been emphasized and has been, enforced upon women in our
Correct.
Indian setup
True.
per se. So that's why it is important, especially parents of young girls, young children, please don't let that happen to them, and let them know they do have a voice, and let them voice out their opinions. Let them know, if you don't voice out, then you are a bad girl. If you voice out your opinions, you are a good girl, you're a strong girl. This is what we need to instill in our children.
Correct. Devanshi, what can family members or friends of patients suffering from DID do to keep situations under control?
So like I said, so once you've understood, okay, for example, if the person has dissociated into particular phases or the states, so once the family members are aware, what happens is, see, firstly, it is very difficult for the family to accept that there's nothing wrong with them, especially when a child or when a person is having any kind of pseudo seizures or any kind of, dissociative states where they become very aggressive, or they start, doing some very unusual behavior. So, and then when the doctors tell them that you don't have to give them attention, first thing the parents and the family say, you are crazy, probably you don't know what my child is going through, and he needs, or he or she needs medication, he or she needs attention. So medications is something that can help your child or people around you who are suffering from it to calm down a little, maybe in terms of their motor activity, maybe in terms of their aggression. But the state of DID cannot be treated with medications.
Okay.
That has to go away with therapies, that has to go away with the understanding of the family members first, because the stemming problem is actually maybe, because of the family dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
So as a therapist or as a psychologist, maybe if the family is not able to reduce that, it's fine. If to calm the family members down, maybe you can prescribe some sort of medications to, bring down their aggression, to, calm them down a little. But then you have to counsel and psychoeducate the family that these are the dynamics, these are the loopholes in the family dynamics, probably, or even if there is nothing wrong with the family dynamics, these are the problems in your child's or your family member's life which is leading him or her to feel this way. why not, let's work together in correcting those areas. And once the person is in non-dissociative state, doing cognitive behavioral therapy with that particular person, letting them know that this is a belief system which you have which needs alterations. Probably world is not like how you're perceiving them. Maybe you are over generalizing it on yourself. Maybe you're magnifying the problems for yourself, or maybe it's just your tunnel vision. So these are some of the things through therapy which can work out with the people who are suffering from it. And family members need to be psychoeducated time to time. I think we need to work more with the family members when
True,
it comes to
correct.
DID than the person itself. And once they understand and they start seeing changes, no, I have seen a lot of families which are very supportive of the therapeutic process ahead then.
Thank you
So
so much,
understanding the
Devanshi.
themes very important.
True, correct, very true. Thank you, really. Thank you so much for coming to our show, sharing your valuable time and insights with us. It has been a pleasure having you on the show.